Welcome everyone to discover the musical modes on the Native American Style Flute. I'm Amy, and tonight we are going to be covering the Ionian Mode. Before we get into any particulars around the Ionian Mode, which is the major scale, do, re, mi, the one we're most familiar with in our culture, I want to talk a little bit about how modes and moods kind of are interwoven. As we go through the modes, notice how you feel. And we'll go really into that so we have an experience of our own take on each of the modes. Because in the end, there are a lot of modes, and we may gravitate towards one or two. And then within that, we may just find the pentatonic, and bingo, we've got a whole nother world other than the pentatonic minor that we talked about in the Aeolian mode. So tonight, we're going to talk about the Ionian mode and think about what it stirs in you as we talk about the songs. Do you have a sense of elation? Do you have a sense of reflection? And whatever it is for you, start to get out of your mind and come back to your senses. And trust your feeling as we go through and talk about the different modes. The modes are like a constellation of intervals, specific intervals, that may activate different states of emotion. We'll know that as we listen to it. So I just asked you to kind of turn inward as we go through these and see how it is for you. How does it feel for you? So the first one that we're going to cover, of course, is Ionian. And I want to say about Ionian, it's called the major scale because it's the primary scale that we are sort of born into in Western culture. It is the one that is used the most. We can easily think of the do, re, mi. People usually understand do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, because that's really the main scale that we grew up with. A lot of the nursery rhymes are based on this. And so here's one that is a popular one on the Native American Style Flute. And now you can kind of see, we're going to take a look at how this works out on the flute. This is a song in the major scale. In fact, I'm going to set up the link right now. You'll know it. Okay. And you can close your eyes, whatever it is. Think about how you feel when you hear this. Ionian mode. We know it again as the major scale. And We don't have to remember this, but we're reviewing it as we're taking a look at this mode. These are the whole steps and half steps. This sequence means that we can start on any root note and go up using these whole and half steps, and that will give us the Ionian mode in any key. So it is not based on a key. It's the sequence that creates the mode. It is the parent mode from which all the other modes that we're talking about in this course come from. So our real familiarity with this mode in 3 different positions really unlocks a lot of musical fluency. If there's only 1 note difference in 2 other major modes, if we know our Ionian mode, we're going to be able to get those other ones down pretty quickly. So when we think about some of the songs, we think about Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, or Amazing Grace, or Hark the Herald Angels Sing. These are the type of songs that are in the major scale. Generally speaking, there's a lot of sort of satisfaction that people feel playing and hearing the mode played skillfully, and there's a brightness to it. Now, if we're looking at a keyboard, and this is a C, you would stay on the white keys and simply play up to the next C, and that will give you the sound of the Ionian mode. Here again are the whole steps and the half steps. So there's a sense of sort of openness and maybe even a balanced, steady feeling around this mode. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of maybe danger or tension. There's certainly intervals that lead to a desire for the next note, but generally speaking, it's experienced as a bright mode. Here it is in 3 positions. We're going to go through each one of these. Okay, the first one that we're going to work with is the first position, and let me say a little bit about that. So you see 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to go down to a more extensive version of this position 1, starting on the bottom note. Remember that the pentatonic, the essential, what I almost think of as the essential intervals, have an asterisk above. So when I think about the major scale, the Ionian mode, and I see this 2 is a primary or pentatonic interval, and I see this half whole, I will probably not choose this position regularly to play in. The other 2 positions are generally more desirable, but they are all available. So here we go in position 1. Do your best with the half whole. I really avoid it pretty much, but I know how to play it, and try it. The advantage is that we get a higher note, which is going to be, so we get to the octave here, and then we have the 2 and the 3. Sort of the 3. It's just too high generally on the flutes. But let's walk through this, and then we'll be moving on to the other 2 positions. Okay, and now the next thing we're going to do is do the diamond sequence. So again, I'm going to highlight that page for you. I'm just going to play a backing track. It's basically just a sound sample going through this method. And so at least you can find out, again, really that bearings of your 1-5, and you start to move through the different intervals. And we'll go through it one at a time. Okay, playing that 1. It's your root note, stability and completeness. And your 5. Your 1-3 major 5. Adding the 8. All the pentatonic intervals. And the full octave. So the advantage, again, is you get the higher notes. The disadvantage, if you're trying to play Ionian, is the half whole. So of the 3 positions, positions 1, position 2, and position 3, unless there was a real reason for it, that would be, for me, the least desirable. position to play. So let's move on to the most popular position to play, and that is position 2. Still with the same flute, and let's just do a very quick peek back at this chart. Okay. We are playing an F sharp flute in position 2. That's going to give you the pitch of A. A, we can play major, minor, or the moods. We're going to play major, A major. And here it is, down here. F sharp, position 2. A is the pitch. Doesn't mean major or minor yet, because we haven't figured out the sequence of the intervals. We just know that we're going to start on A. And that position 2, as I mentioned, is nice with the major scale. I want to make sure that my share. Do you see Ionian position 2? Everybody give me a thumbs up. Ionian position 2. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we're going to look at next. And notice those pentatonic intervals, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. All right, so these are the pentatonic intervals of the Ionian mode, different than the Aeolian and some others. So let's play up this based on our position 2 to our recording. Okay, a little easier? Yeah? Depends. We're going to go right to the position 3 because we're going to do the diamond with this backing track. So we're going to go to position 3 and then we'll come back to the diamond with position 2. So we're going to come back to that. Here we are in position 3. Now we're starting way up here. You think, what the heck? But there's a wonderful note down here that is available, so that's the advantage, I think, of position 3 is you get a couple of these notes below. All right, so let's play just from here up so you can just see the sequence on the flute, and then we're going to take a look at a piece of music, Ode to Joy, that is played in position 2 and position 3 and what I'm talking about with this low note. But for now, let's just walk through it and then we'll come back to it. Okay, we're going to start here. I'm going to play a track so you can play along and make sure you're following along here. Here it is. Position 3. Here's your home note. That 1-5 coming up is really good to know where your 5 is. There's your harmony. 1-5 can accompany just about anybody from there. Now we're going to add that 3 major primary chord. Ionian pentatonic, position 3. Adding the 4 and 7 to complete as many as we can on that one. So I had mentioned before Ode to Joy on the following 2 pages, and there's a little box around that section where playing in position 3 will give you the note that you're expecting to hear in that song. That's the reason. If that low note is a primary note in the song, then you might want to start up in position 3. Most Native American style flute music that's written in the major scale will be written in position 2 and a little bit of it in position 3. Okay, so there. Now we're going to go back to position 2. I'm going to play a recording that I made so you can hear it, and I'm going to be showing the pattern of the diamond, and then I'll put on the backing track and show the pattern of the diamond, and you can try out the same kind of pattern or whatever comes through for you. So, first part's just a listening exercise. This is Ami Sarasvati. This is the Ionian Mode on an F-sharp flute in position 2, playing with an A Ionian backing track. Please. Get you one, or hear it. You can play along if you want. But you're going to hear a partial diamond method. We'll skip the top 2 intervals, but see how much you can do playing in position 2. The one again. Get that home note. Add the 5. Add the 3. Hold on, do I see something funny there? Oh, you probably caught this yourself if you're watching the flute diagrams. We have a little extra dot there filled in. So note to self, get that, but the 3 here does not have the dot filled in, so everything should be open on the bottom. Okay, here we go. The 8 is unavailable, so I'll move on to the other pentatonic intervals. That's what it should look like. Add final intervals of the full mode. Now returning back to just the pentatonic intervals. Returning to just the 1, 3, 5, and that one's empty again. Returning to just the 1, 5. Returning to just the 1. All right. Whew. Yeah, except for the little edit on the 3 there. So we're going to do it again, and I'm going to play just the backing track so you can noodle around, and you know, just forget about that little colored in one that's crossed out, but give it a try. So here we go. Now you one. Home note. Add your 5. Add your 1, 3, 5. You can try the arpeggio if your flute will play the 8. Stop this for a moment, 1 moment. So we're going to get now into the pentatonic, and you know, this is like my favorite word in the course, right? So, but what I want you to do is really internalize, this is kind of the goal of these, is to get you to the pentatonic. So here we are, have some fun with it, and just know that these are really sort of the real the ones that I would encourage you to get to know. If you get to know the other ones too, that's great. But here is now the Ionian pentatonic in position 2. How easy it is to play that 1, 2, 3. So beautiful. And then add that 5 and 6. It's the same fingering as our regular Aeolian pentatonic, except for the bottom hole. Go ahead if you'd like to try that 4 and 7 down here. Try those out, see what those sound like. Hover between these two and just kind of explore for a moment. Ready, come back to your 1, 3, 5, 8 if you like. And now the 1, 3, 5. One, 5, 1, 5, 1, 5. 1. So much fun. Let's come on back to that pentatonic again and just go to town for a minute. Take a solo. About 15 more seconds. Okay, bringing it down. And I'm going to stop the track. Okay. So while we're here, all right, what I'm going to do is put on one more backing track. And what this is now we're starting on the third hole up in position 3, and we're just going to kind of shoot down some of these here, but you'll hear how well this comes up with now. This will be a B major. We were just in A major. Now we're going to be in B major. Okay, now here's your add your 5. Here's your primary chord, 1, 3, 5. Because we're starting way up here, the 8 is not available. So we're going to go right to here. And here's where we're landing, that Ionian pentatonic now, but in position 3. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay, here's where we get to try some of these wonderful notes. So we've been playing some of this. You can add the 4 at least. But now also dip down into this 5 and 7 here. Try those out. Really lean on that 5 below and come back to your 1. About 30 more seconds. Okay, gonna turn this down. All right, and we'll stop the track. All right. Okay, so now you can see as a comparison, and you can do this on your own. When you're going through that ode to joy, ode to joy in the Ionian mode, all right, whenever we're looking at a piece, we look at the very last note to determine what the home note is. So you can see we're in position 2. And when we play in position 2, we have to adapt the music in a way to accommodate the notes it can't reach. Yet, again, the last note is the home note. So that's our starting position, that's our home note. And in this case, we can access the note that we expect in this piece. So that's the reason. And really fun to improvise with that lower 5 and 7 as well. Good. Whew. You're welcome to put in the chat any epiphanies on that. 2 and 3.
Amy, what would be good to focus on if we're moving on to a new mode? Because there's so much here, and my brain can't hold it all. But
Right.
to really get the feel of the mode and the fingerings of the mode, should I, think more about position, or think more about, the chordal structure or the pentatonic? What do you recommend?
Here's generally what I would do if I was approaching a new mode is I would look at the positions 1, 2, and 3 and decide which position I was going to work with. The advantages or disadvantages, like we've been talking about. And then my goal would be to get to the pentatonic. It would be to get to the pentatonic by way of 1, 1, 5. Now, because we only have 3 positions, what we're going to find in mode to mode, like we were just doing, we'll say position 2, all right, in Ionian. Okay, position 2, right there, that 1 is going to go across all the position 2 modes. And so, like the 1, 5 that you find, there's going to be a lot of similarities. So, mastering, say, a mode in the position that is going to work for you, and just go to the pentatonic. Just go to the pentatonic, but really feeling that, where am I in the pentatonic? Which intervals are these? And if you want to do the full mode, that's fine, but really like how we did when we first learned how to play our flutes, right? We were in minor, pentatonic, and that was plenty. I mean, that was a lot at the beginning, right? So that's what I would do. Generally speaking, if you're playing a minor mode, you'll see it's, position 1 is pretty popular because you get different aspects to it, where if you're really going to play a lot of major Ionian, position 2 would be what I would focus on, is really get that position 2 and get up to the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 in Ionian. So we're no longer in Aeolian 1, 3, 4, 5, 7. So memorizing which intervals they are. You're always going to have your 1, you're always going to have your 5, all right? You're going to have a 3, and it depends, and then just get to that pentatonic. As we move through some of the modes, Ionian does not have what we call a flavor note, the unusual note, right? It's a parent mode. So when we look at next Mixolydian, we're going to say this is Ionian, except for 1 note. So I would really master like the pentatonics of the Aeolian and the pentatonic of Ionian, and specifically Aeolian position 1 is a great one to master, and Ionian position 2. Yeah, so make it about the pentatonic and not the full mode. That's what I would say. You can always come back, and this is like a reference body of work at this point. Okay.
That's good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. There's a lot there. It's not a beginner, concept. There's a lot that you're working with, even if you've been playing flute for years. So, good. Anything else, Mary? We good?
I think we're good.
Okay, terrific. Great. So I really encourage you to take a look at that Ode to Joy and play position 2 and play position 3, so that you can see the advantage sometimes of starting way up on position 3 in this, because of that 5th below. So, great. Thank you for being here, and see you in the next video.